Imagine Sarah and Mike, one evening in their cramped living room in Portland, caught in a whirlwind of accusations and slammed doors. The TV's still on, but both can barely hear it over the storm. They've tried couples therapy, date nights, even books on communication, yet here they are, stuck in the same vicious cycle. What if all those usual fixes miss one crucial step, something below the surface that's fueling their fire and trapping them in high conflict? In high-conflict couples like Sarah and Mike, emotions rise like sudden storms, violent, unpredictable, and overwhelming. The first breakthrough comes not from better talks, but from mastering your own emotional chaos. Sarah bursts into tears during an argument about finances, shouting that Mike never listens, while he recoils, shutting down completely in his bedroom for hours. This reactive dance repeats. Her emotional eruption meets his silence, spiraling into weeks of distant, cold wars. Think of emotions like untrained horses running wild in an open field. Without a rider's calm guidance, they bolt in all directions, causing chaos. Alan Fruzzetti borrows from Dialectical Behavior Therapy. You don't conquer these horses by brute force. You gently guide them with mindfulness and distress tolerance, creating space to steer instead of crash. By learning to notice that emotional surge before it topples them, couples can pause, breathe, and ride their feelings rather than be dragged. This shift turns infernos into flickering flames, and suddenly the storm loses its power to destroy what's built. You've heard the advice, talk calmly, listen more. But when feelings flare, that's nearly impossible. The secret, catching the storm before it explodes with simple, concrete mindfulness skills. Mike's jaw clenches, fists trembling as Sarah snaps about not caring. Instead of snapping back, he silently counts to 10, focusing on the rough texture of his shirt. That small mental step stops his anger from exploding and shifts the tone of the whole night. Mindfulness works like a safety net under a tightrope walker. It catches you when you start to fall or get overwhelmed. Simple breaths or sensory focus break the runaway train of emotions, making space between impulse and action, which is exactly what high-conflict couples so desperately need. Once Mike trains himself to pause with mindfulness, the conversation stops spiraling into shouting matches. Instead, partners find they can express needs without blaming and listen without building walls. It's not magic, it's altered brain wiring through practice, turning chaos into connection. High-conflict couples often see every disagreement as a war. But turning conflict into negotiation changes everything, letting you uncover fear and longing beneath the surface fight. One breakthrough session finds Sarah confessing her deepest fear. If Mike leaves, she's lost. That fear isn't a weapon, but the true message behind her anger. Mike listens, not as a judge, but as a partner, validating her pain instead of defending himself immediately. Conflict often acts like a badly translated message. Imagine two people with walkie-talkies, but static garbles what each says. What sounds like blame or attack actually screams fear, shame, or loneliness. Recognizing this crackling interference helps couples reframe arguments as signals, not saboteurs. The moment couples switch from fighting to negotiating, they build trust and intimacy. Fear gets voiced, needs get met. And surprise, acceptance, not control, is the glue that holds them tight. It's exactly what no simple advice book ever told you before. Remember Sarah and Mike stuck in their storm? Now you see their story differently. The eruptions aren't just fights, they're cries for help beneath the noise. The real win happens when you catch that emotional spark early, pause, breathe, and listen not just to words, but what's beneath them. Next time you're spiraling, try this. Name the emotion quietly before you react. It's the first step out of the high conflict maze. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.